Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. But Jéan P The MC, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, man. I feel like we've been talking about it for like a year, maybe?
Yeah.
Year and a half?
Because you reached out and tried. I'm like, man, every day he wants to do it, I gotta work or do something.
It's just the conflicting schedules, but I'm glad we're doing it now and here at the Hub Art Factory.
Yeah, man.
Which is really cool space. Like I said, I've seen this on your podcast, but I've never actually been here before. So really cool space. What does it mean to you to be able to like record here and do your thing here?
It means a lot, because shout out to Tim Carmody. He's always extended the door for me to do things creatively. Being in a space full of visual artists and being a podcaster and a music artist, I don't feel any different, even though they do visual art. I just feel like it's just a home for creatives, and to be a part of it is cool. So like, I'm really grateful that Tim gave me and Jeremy and Zach and Chase and our guests the opportunity to just do something here, and it's cool to be a part of it. We expose people to the Hub. A lot of people have never been here before, yourself included. You said it's your first time here, so I kind of like to bring people into this space and show them what's going on here. But it's really great to be a part of something like this.
It is really cool, and I heard the episode you guys did with Tim where he was talking about like redoing the space and everything. How it was like a building that he bought, I think. Redid it.
He bought it, I think, about 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, this building's been many things, so crazy. We're sitting on this platform. This was a teen club like years ago.
Oh, so this was like a stage?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
that makes sense. It's kind of elevated.
Yeah, so even years ago, it being the many places that it's tried to be, and it being the Hub now, it represents the city, right?
Mm-hmm. It's really cool, for sure. And just doing the podcast, because like I said, I discovered you, believe it or not, I discovered you through a Facebook ad for the show you did with the Canton Symphony Orchestra.
Oh,
so this is probably this had to have been like February of 24 or somewhere in there.
Yeah. Shout out to
I was just scrolling and I saw that and I'm like, they're doing a show with an MC with Canton Symphony Orchestra. So that's how I discovered you, and then I dug into the podcast and found out you were doing all this cool stuff. So I guess we have Zuckerberg to thank for this interview today.
Thank the billionaire for making that happen.
Yeah, for sure. That's about the only thing I can thank you for, other than providing the platform. But again, I think it's we got so many things we could dive into. I think I want to start with the podcast just because that's kind of what I've been keeping up most with. I think. So how did Say What You Mean kind of come to fruition as far as like the idea of it, the genesis of it? And what does it mean to you to be able to interview so many cool people, especially in Canton?
So Say What You Mean, it started with a lot of us, pandemic.
Yeah.
We wanted something to do. And I've always wanted to do other platforms, such as podcasting and journalism and stuff like that. So when the opportunity came, the girl I was seeing at the time, she encouraged me to do it. And I was just trying to learn different ways of doing it. I was doing it on my phone. I was trying to do it that way, call. Some app I was using where you could hear the phone calls. So to go from the infant stage, just to trying to just record someone, to having a studio and being on YouTube, is pretty cool. It's like that growth.
The evolution.
The evolution, So I said, I want to be the voice of the city, not just as Jéan P The MC, but like a voice where people can come to the couch. Yeah. You watch your favorite show and say, I want to come sit on the couch and talk with the host. I want people to feel that when they see Canton and want to talk about culture, they can come to me.
Yeah. I guess where did the decision come from because you interview artists obviously, but you interview, like you had the mayor of Canton on literally like 2 months ago. And you've had a lot of different people that are just involved in different things in the city and kind of like extended areas like Akron and things like that too. Where did that decision come from to interview not just creatives, but just other people doing great work in the community?
I just wanted to show that Canton was more than what people see in the newspaper. you know, because some people have these crazy assumptions of Canton, you know, like the same things that happen here happen in major cities. So a lot of people's assumptions of Canton, sadly, is negative.
Yeah.
So even when I tell people I'm from Canton, they'll hear my music and assume I'm from a major city. Like, no, I'm coming from a city with 70,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted to show that we have great things going on here. Northeast Ohio, you know. I know great people, so I'm like, yeah, they can come to Canton and sit on the couch for a little bit and talk. I want to share that story. So
yeah. And that's what stood out to me too, was just being able, your ability to do that and put that light on those people as well is such a big thing.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for doing that, man, because I think it's something that not a lot of people are doing.
Thank you.
Because even in my own show, I haven't really interviewed a lot of people locally. Like I've interviewed local artists like Elijah, Marcus Wayne, people like that on the show. But you know, I haven't done a lot of different interviews locally. And I think that's what stood out to me, because I found out you were from Canton too. Because I didn't know any of the backstory. Like I said, I found that Facebook ad, didn't know like if they just were doing a show with you or where you're from, and just started digging in and figured out like you were from Canton.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about you too, just being able to keep your roots here in the hometown, create your music, create your art, and then shed light and give back in that way too. And I guess that leads me to, you know, you've done different things in the community as well, events, things like that. What does that mean to you to give back even outside of music? Because obviously, you know, I always look at it like music, you can do a lot. You can give back through the lyrics and just give people that feeling and the hope and the inspiration. But there's other ways to get involved. And I feel like you've been doing that a lot. So what does that mean to you to give back in that way?
Man, it means a lot, you know, because I was one of those kids who needed the help, who needed someone I could look up to. So I want to be that for the community, not just children, but for the community, people who see me every day, the adults I deliver mail to, the kids I get to interact with on the mail route through events and things I'm involved with. So being able to contribute in some way, shape, or form to like the youth and the city makes me feel good. And that's kind of why I do the podcast, is because the people I interview other than rappers and musicians, it opens up like a Rolodex for me, a good networking tool. Like all the guests that I've had on my show that are involved with the city or not, we're building a relationship with them just being on the show, having a conversation, kicking their feet up in a way. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of laughs on our show. You know, me and the guests, we crack jokes and do silly.
I was gonna say it's more like free flowing, because you're just like having that real, genuine.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be like
scripted. You know,
I didn't want to be like, tell us about your business. You know, I want people to feel like, you know, for example, we had Jenny George. You know, she works with the children downtown, and she works with organizations, child adolescents.
Okay.
And that's someone who I thought, you know, with her position, like, oh, you know, it's going to be very rigid, but it wasn't. You know, it was just very comfortable. She told us about things she does outside of work. Learned about glamping, you know, different types of camping, and we're just learning who people are, but also what inspires them to do what they do. You know, so it's like they know Jenny George, but say what you mean is a way of showing who are these people.
Yeah, you peel back the layers.
Even with the mayor, like who is Bill Shear? You know what I'm saying? Who are these important people? Who is Christian Turner? You know, who is Jenny George? Who is Lucas Tyndale? Who is Lester Sanders? You know, all these people. Who is Lamar Sharp?
Yeah, and you take it back to the beginning too. You kind of, because you do that on every episode. You'll say like, okay, are you from Canton? And then you kind of go into like, how did you get going? What was your childhood like? And then what kind of inspired you to get to where you are now?
That's like proper journalism to me. You know, it's like a lot of podcasts. Let's get on the couch, ask you questions with no structure. I'm a real structured person. So it's like, especially with a podcast, it's like, okay, who, what, where, when, why. That's the format I follow with any guest I have.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people say, hey man, put me on the podcast. It's like, okay, I'm grateful, but what are we going to talk about? If you don't have anything we can talk about, I'm not saying not everybody has anything to talk about, but some people can't sit and have a conversation for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't do that right away.
That's the thing, like, when I'm booking guests too for my show, some people, it'll be like very easy because you can tell they either have been on a lot of shows before, or maybe they do a podcast too.
Right.
The conversation is like free flowing. It's perfectly fine. Other people, they'll give you the one word answers, and you're just like, what do I do now?
They just want the exposure. And just say I was on the podcast, but people gotta understand when you want to be on the podcast, have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Say what you mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and as far as like your story, we got to kind of dive into that because you've been in hip hop, I think, for like almost 20 years, probably over 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Discography's insane, by the way.
Thank you.
I say, man, I'm digging into the Bandcamp. I'm like, God, it just keeps going.
Yeah, man. Bandcamp is where it started.
Yeah. So like, talk about. I guess I don't really want to do like humble beginnings, but like, here's a good question. Let's say from like 2010, I think that's when you put out your first project, official project, right? So like, let's say from there.
I don't even know.
I feel like it was like somewhere between 08 and 010.
Yep.
Potentially. Let's say like from that point up until now, which is like 15 years, were there points where you kind of wanted to shift to something else, or was it always like you knew you had the love for it, and regardless of where life was going to take you, you were just going to keep going and kind of continue on and see where it led, I guess?
I think it was wherever life took me, keep going, you know, because it's just like, I think now I'm probably at the age where I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't gotta put out an album. I don't know. I just gotta put out singles or something. But back in those days, it was just like, I want people to hear me. I want people to know who I am. Even in the days where I wasn't as strong as an artist, I've grown as a lyricist too, you know? And in those early days, I was kind of getting my feet wet. But the one thing with me is I'm very consistent. Yeah. You know, like you've done your research. I literally feel like I haven't stopped.
Dude, it's like, I feel like this new album, which we're going to talk about, I think it's like the 14th album.
Man, no.
13 or 14?
24th.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I wasn't counting EPs
overall.
or anything. I was just talking about like the full album.
Yeah,
so
man. I think
it's crazy.
I think that's like my 10th full one.
Okay.
But I count them all.
Yeah.
So like
they're all like kids. In a way.
Yeah, they are. You know, one of my friends was like, you could retro your albums like Jordans.
Yeah.
You know
you got to do like the 20th anniversary.
I could do a couple anniversaries if I wanted to. But yeah, that's how much music I have from 2008 when I started at Ohio University to now. It's been like non-stop. So now I'm at an age where it's like, I told you on the way here, I gotta do content. I gotta make a post. I come from that. Now, if I get on Two Dope Boys and they see this, I'm good. That's the era I come from. Now it's like, you gotta make content, and be seen. Maybe when you be seen, someone will give you opportunity. Yeah. So, you know, especially with like album mode, you gotta kind of prepare yourself, do content, do interviews, which is fine.
And that's a whole separate content journey, just promoting an album.
Making the music
from the daily stuff.
Yeah, for me, making the music is the easy part.
Yeah.
Because I kind of visualize what I want to do before musically, and then the hard part, quote unquote, is I gotta post today. Yeah. I gotta make a TikTok today. I gotta make a post on Facebook.
Well, we were talking about the blog era and how that was like such an important time, and a lot of people, like fans especially, or people like yourself you were a fan, but you were getting into it at that time as well. Was there ever a struggle of the shift? Because like you just said, it has shifted now to, it's more about the content you put out on your own. It's not really about getting featured on that blog per se all the time. It's more about, you know, how many views can you get, or how can you kind of push your own brand and your own thing on social media? Was that shift ever difficult for you? Because you saw both sides. Not everybody has seen both sides. A lot of artists are coming in now. This is all they know.
Yeah, content. All they know now is content.
So was that difficult?
It wasn't difficult per se, because even in those earlier days, I was always, in a way, making content. Like, meaning, like, I would do these little series on YouTube called Rhyme and Dream episodes, so and so, because I got inspired by Wiz Khalifa. Remember, Wiz Khalifa used to do those day-to-days, and he would get behind the scenes, you be on the road with him. I always thought that was so cool. I'm like, man. So, in a way, we were witnessing the beginning of content, because that's back when a lot of those artists from that blog era weren't signed. So they were like, man, let's get people behind the scenes.
Putting out mixtapes for free.
And you can just make a video and put it right on YouTube now. You know, so like we were seeing the beginning of the content era. Yeah. So like I kind of was doing content on accident without intentionally knowing I was making content. I was just making posts. At that time, it was exposure. I want people to see me. I'm trying to get exposure. Yeah. Now it's like, okay, with social media being so public, people saying like, when I'm out, oh, what do you do from TikTok? It wasn't like that then.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, we see you on TikTok, or oh, I saw your reel, or I saw your ad. You know what I'm saying? So now it's you get out what you put in. But there's some days where I'm like, man, I just want to just do a Lego set.
Just chill.
Out and just, or watch a movie. But I'm like, I also want people to buy my album. I want people to see who I am. So I never approach it as I'm like a vet in the game. I got a crown on my head. I still move like I'm a new artist. I am.
Yeah.
Even though I've been active for 17 years, I still move as if the world doesn't know who I am yet. So it's always refreshing when people say, oh, you have to do, oh, thanks. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like I have more work to do. So.
Yeah. That brings up a question. I was kind of curious about this because a lot of the times when you're doing your TikTok videos, you're in your mail carrier uniform and everything. You're doing them out on like deliveries and stuff. Does anybody that you work with ever see these?
Yeah.
Like know about them? What do they
see them?
What do they like them?
Like one of my coworkers will be like, I saw your TikTok you made. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And it's nothing crazy. Like, I've had people ask me, what does your job say? And as long as I'm not driving, which
you can't be doing
this. I'm not doing that in the government, in a postal vehicle, but like, I make sure I'm on lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I make sure I'm doing my job. At the end of the day, I may have my fun on TikTok being the mailman, but I still have a job to do.
Yeah.
And I do my job.
Yeah.
I do my job well. So it ain't like my management and everyone's like, you're not getting your job done, but you're making TikTok.
It'd be a totally different story if you were just out there slagging off.
And I'm having fun with my job. I make the most of it. So a lot of those TikToks I make are just random ideas I have while I'm working. It's not. I don't think like the night before, like, oh, tomorrow I want to make this. I'll be on the route, kind of bored, and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I'll make.
That's where the most fun ones come out, though, is when you're not thinking about it.
And a lot of those TikToks that people see when I'm doing something funny or silly are just spur of the moment thoughts, because my mind is just so. I have a wild imagination, so like when I think of something funny, I'll be like, how can I incorporate that into the mailman story? So.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode.
I feel like that's like content in general, I feel like performs the best when you're just letting it go. Like you're not thinking too much about it. I feel like the stuff I planned out and I'm like, oh, this is going to be big, never is like, doesn't really hit like that.
Right.
It's the things that you come up with last minute that might be the things that, kind of catch someone's attention, and then next thing you know, they're checking out your music, they're checking out all your stuff.
Yeah, it's never how you plan it.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned Rhyme and a Dream, which you just did the documentary a couple months ago?
Yeah, in July.
You did the premiere. I saw it on YouTube, and I was a huge fan of it. I think it's incredible. Joe Lewis helped with that.
Yeah, Joe Lewis and Pat Foley.
Nice, incredible. And I guess I just want to know, what is the story behind it? What kind of led you to the decision of, creating a documentary and doing it that way? Because I think your approach with it was super unique. It wasn't really set up like a normal documentary, and it was still short form. It's almost like short form content too, where people can still sit down for 20, 25 minutes and watch that. And they get to know a lot about you, your backstory, your music, and the city of Canton in general too. So like what kind of led to this idea of putting that together?
So Joe, always wanted to do a documentary, even before it was done now. But I told Joe, I said, well, Joe, I think I gotta do a little bit more before I do a documentary, because he wanted to do a documentary like 5 years ago. I'm like, man, we still got more to do. You know what I'm saying? And like when I watch documentaries of artists that I like, I always at one point in time I was like, is it a conclusion? Does it mean like it's over?
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't want to do it too, because it's like my journey's not over, So like with the documentary, I just wanted people to see that hey, I'm more than just the dude who posts on Facebook and social media. I actually have a story. So I think I made it for the supporters of Jéan P who knew me from the early days, people who are new fans to this day, people who know me just from as a mailman. Like there's a story behind what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think at the age I'm at now, I'm 35, and the fact I'm still consistent, I want people to see like this is where he gets drive from. This is what motivates him to keep posting. Because I made some people fans when they didn't want to be. They were just like, look, man, I see you posting yourself all the time. And I finally clicked the link. And I had to look at it and I was impressed.
Yeah.
Because some people just watch. With that documentary, it was a lot of, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know you had to do all that. Oh, man, you did that? So the documentary is just me being super transparent as if I'm not transparent enough on my social media and all that. So the documentary was just kind of like a behind the scenes story of who I am as a person, as a man, as an artist and father. What I'm saying?
It's like we talked about peeling back the layers. That's important because I feel like on the surface level, even if you hear a song that you like for me as a fan of music, what I like to do is if I hear someone I enjoy a few songs, I'll start digging in. But what I do is I go look at their interviews and I'm like, who is this person like really? Because sometimes obviously people can kind of present something in music that isn't 100% accurate to what they're doing. So it's like I want to kind of get to know them as a person too. And then I've been able to appreciate other artists just by hearing them talk in conversation and how big that is. So I think it's incredible. Again, congratulations on that because I think it's an awesome thing. And I saw the premiere. You had a lot of people come out too.
Oh man, that was fun.
Cool.
That premiere was
Where was that at?
I had it at Canton Symphony. Zimmerman Center. The Zimmerman Symphony Center. I had it there. Shout out to Rachel and Canton Symphony for allowing me to do that. That was fun, man. A lot of people. It was an invite only. And then that's how I put it out to the public for everybody to see it. But it was so well received in that intimate setting that it got me excited. Like, okay, this is something good. This is something that I know can stick. You know what I mean? So I was glad that I was able to bring that to the city of Kansas and my family and friends and fans of Jéan P The MC.
Yeah. And it's cool because you said you almost felt like at a time you weren't ready to do it. I almost feel like the best things kind of come when we're not ready. We kind of just dive right in and the best things kind of happen from that. So I'm glad that Joe kind of pushed you too to be like, hey, we got to do this eventually, and like kind of planted the seed in a way.
And we got help from students at Glen Oak.
Okay.
So that was a cool thing too. Was like the youth was helping us with the documentary, and they were able to give us something really dope, something really great. So that was cool too. That was Joe, because Joe is a teacher for those kids in that video production program. So for him to bring those kids in, them coming with me in interviews and shoots and stuff was pretty cool.
You talked about being able to, kind of work with the youth too in a way, and I know you do like podcast. I think you've done like where you teach podcasting to kids too.
I did that briefly.
How was that?
That was fun. I did that briefly with Enrichment. Shout out to Betty Smith. She gave me an opportunity to teach the youth how to do a podcast. So that was fun too, because it gives me a chance to bring kids into my world, but also show them something. Because these kids love the media and content and all this. So I'm like, hey, you can do that, right? Because a lot of people think you gotta go to a big studio to do a podcast or an album.
You just do it on your phone?
You literally, so the resources are endless at this point. So it was cool to show the kids and the people, look, if y'all want to start a podcast, y'all can, you know that, right?
Yeah.
May I spend some money, depending on what you want, but this is necessary.
Yeah. Was there anyone that came up to you and said, I'm going to start my own podcast one day? Was that ever, anybody ever say that?
A lot of our guests say, oh man, we break the ice with a lot of our guests. So like a lot of them are nervous at first, and then when they see that we're just transparent and silly, But we're also asking questions. They get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like, oh yeah, I can talk. Sometimes it turns into a therapist couch for some of our guests. But I'm glad that we can be a safe space for them to share who they are and say what they mean.
Yeah, if you get the icebreaker going, like if you get it the right way, it usually works a lot.
That's how I start off, icebreakers. Yeah. It could be me saying something random to one of the guests, or me asking a question, or what's going on in the week. You know what I'm saying? What's been happening?
I try to do that, or I'll even kind of do like a terrible joke. Just because I know it's so bad, they'll react to it. I'm like, hopefully that helps a little bit.
Right, that's gonna break the ice for real.
It'd be like, let me tell the worst joke of all time right now, and then hopefully that does something. But yeah, man. Let's dive into the new album, which is right here. I don't know if anyone can see that, but I'll hold it up at the end. I'll get right by the camera. I'll hold it.
All
right. New album. Let's talk about it, man. What's the story, and why? I guess why now decide to drop an album? Because you had your album a couple years ago, Jéan, Not John, which is kind of the first album I heard from you. Because like I said, when I discovered you, I'm like, let me check out his latest work.
Got a long way to go.
Dude, but that's how I discovered Elijah, Grim, all those guys.
Shout out to Elijah, Turbo.
Yeah, for
man.
sure, man. So like new album, what is kind of the story behind this one? We'll start there, I guess.
So, excuse me. So I was thinking, so I try to go with these themes. Like, say what you mean was me use my mouth. The way I see it was vision. So I was thinking, you know, your mental. So I was like, let me bring people into my brain and what I think about, you know, the thoughts that I have, and make it into a great body of music. And also, it means a lot to me because I usually do it every year. But I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So when I found that out, it was affecting my speech. And it was crazy because when I found that out, I could have took it as a negative, but I'm a very optimistic person. I said, well, maybe this is God's way of telling me, yo, man, let's just sit down for a minute. Because, you know, when that happened, it happened that I realized something was wrong at the symphony show. I was rapping. I tell the story all the time. I was rapping. You know, you watch cartoon, they put their tongues out really far.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I felt. I was like, oh, man, that didn't feel right.
You could tell something was off.
And I've been rapping for so long. Like, you know, it's different than like messing up on a word or forgetting words. This was like, okay, I felt this. And that's when I found out what I had. So, excuse me. I used that year off 2024 to kind of just live for Jéan. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I just feel like I've been so focused on Jéan P The MC for a long time. And I think it took for that to happen to be like, all right, let's make sure Jéan is okay. So I did things I always wanted to do, like travel, start dating, you know what I'm saying? Like chilling, relaxing, you know, going to the gym, not necessarily just focusing on objectives, you know. So I think that was a motivation for me to get back in the lab. And when the doctor told me, he said, do you want speech therapy? I said, no, because all I do is just rap. So
that will be the speech therapy.
Yeah, so besides my treatments I get every 6 months, I found myself just rapping lyrics. Songs that I like, my songs, other people's songs, just to keep this going.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. So what was the timeline for like start to finish then? Did you have it wrapped up earlier this year and you just were getting into the merch and the physicals and all that stuff? Like in total, how many months?
For sure, I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm working on this project for like 2 years. Because I was working on Jéan Not John.
Yeah.
And it was sounding completely different.
So you went right into the next one. Yeah. And then that happened and you were like, let me just slow it down.
I usually do that though.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel it.
One of my friends jokes me, is like, I'll text him like, hey man, I'm working on another album. He said, man, you just put out an album last year. Yeah. But I never look at it that way. I always look at it as I'm just staying consistent because I love doing it. Yeah. You know? So I think 2024 was the first year I was like, all right, let me just, all right, it's okay to pump the mic down a little bit. It's better to put the mic down sometime. I just always felt like I had to have it. I had to hold it in my hand. You know, I needed this mic. You know, hip hop isn't my identity, but it's just like, it's something I love. Yeah. And for me to have MS, and then affected that part of my life was very devastating.
Yeah.
You know, I told the doctor, I'm like, man, this is what I do. Like, I'm a hip hop artist. Like, you know, I speak a lot. You know, so once I started working towards that, making sure that was right, it made me feel more comfortable to keep going.
Yeah. As far as, you know, even topic matter in this, are you talking about that journey of like having MS and things like that? Like, what are the different topics you're touching on in this project overall?
So in this project, I feel I was more confident in myself. You know, more. I don't give a damn about y'all. I'm the one. You know what I'm saying?
And that's from, I feel like that's got to be from having years of experience too, and knowing who you are as an artist, but as a person too, right?
Years of experience and me just not being afraid.
Yeah.
You know, because even when people tell me, John, you like one of the best, I still never took that like, well, all right, because you said it. I just was like, I'm gonna keep working and proving myself. You know, like I pride myself on being super consistent. I pride myself on just keeping the ball rolling with anything in my life, especially with this music. So,
yeah. Is there a favorite song? Because I've only heard Gold Jackets, which was the first single. I think it's the intro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Album's not out yet, by the way.
It sounds like an intro, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard the full album. Is there a favorite track currently, or does it change? Does it change?
It changes.
Yeah.
I like them all. Like.
What today? What's the favorite?
What's the favorite today? Cry No More.
Okay.
The second track.
Why is that?
It's just powerful. You know, the verse I thought was dope. I think I said one of the lines I said, mad at me because my year was better than their decades.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
because
hard.
It's like every year it's like I've been
Yeah.
just doing something. This guy's been doing this way longer than me, and they haven't had the years I've had.
Yeah.
Like you can look, oh, Jéan P had a good 2023. Oh, Jéan P was killing it in 2022.
Yeah.
Oh man, 2021. That, you know, so every year
You got the track record.
I had the track record for it, you know what I'm saying? So it was me coming into, it's okay to say I'm him.
Yeah.
Like all the kids say, I'm him.
Yeah.
You know, but I think this album and that song, Cry No More, was me stepping into that. This album was me stepping into that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not an 18-year-old kid no more. I'm 35 years old now.
Yeah. Different perspective.
Different perspective.
Yeah.
So that's what, on this album, my experiences with love and women. You know what I'm saying? I have a couple songs in there where I talked about my experiences with the opposite sex. I have songs where, trying to think. I got a song on there called 35. It was like a freestyle I recorded on my birthday. That's pretty dope. Got my son on there telling me how old I am and I'm 35. So yeah, that,
You gotta do
cool.
one every year now.
Every year.
36, 37.
Yep, you know,
so
and
on.
teenagers just think you're old anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you're not around that age, you old. So I that album was me stepping into me being a little older, me still having that passion, and me stepping into that confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you got some features on here too. Who you got artist wise and producer wise, I guess. Who's
Ty Zach, Elora Sky, she's a great vocalist. Shout out to Elora. Wacko's producer, Shemaine's a producer.
you make any of the beats on this one yourself? Or?
I assisted.
Yeah.
And it's like I would find the loops and then Wacko would add drums or something. So
Because I know you got the MPC, right? Are you making stuff on MPC?
I have a machine.
Machine. Okay, how's that go for you? Like creating?
I like
Are you
it.
only like? Are you doing a lot of full beats like just when you can? Or
I'm
just,
getting there.
Yeah.
Right now I've been falling in love with the loops.
Yeah.
You call them, I guess, lo-fi, boneless beats is what they call it. Beats.
You like the more melodic stuff or the?
I like it all, man. But like as far as my beats, I just been practicing like different styles and how I can do stuff because I can find a loop. I think of a loop, I'm like, well, that sounds fire.
Yeah.
Like I'm that person.
You
like,
see the vision from just that. I'm the same way. Man.
I hear a song. And like my sister always joke and be like, "Here goes John. He got that look on his face." Because I hear a sample, or I'll be at the store. Because sometimes that store music you hear, you like, "Oh, what's that?"
Or the restaurant.
Yeah, the
Shazam.
restaurant. Yup. Yeah. So
Yep.
a lot of Shazam. I'm like, I like that. or on YouTube, I go on there and dig.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that, just piecing it together and making a piece of art, which is this album.
For sure. Well, I'm definitely excited for the project, and we're like a week and a half away from.
Yep.
Are you dropping one more song this week? Did I see that? Like
I'm dropping. So I was thinking this Friday.
Okay.
Dropping another song this Friday, and then a week from Friday,
the 10th
uh-huh.
is the drop date. So and you got a show on the 4th, I think, at Erie Street.
Yep. Artoberfest.
Yeah. Shout out to Samantha.
Shout out to Samantha and shout out to the Madison Arts Council.
Nice. And then you got the show on the 11th, which is the release show.
Back to back.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to about doing that? Are you doing the full album, or are you just going to do like your favorite songs?
My favorite songs. Yeah. Because I still got to learn them performance-wise. So.
Have you performed any of them yet, or not?
Gold Jackets.
Gold Jackets.
So I'm still
did you do a show in like Athens too?
I did Brewfest in Athens, and I did a show at Two Scoops around the roof. That was fun.
That was Hall of Fame week, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That
was fun.
That was pretty freaking insane. Have you done that before?
No. I don't even think they've done that before. I think that has.
What was the conversation? It was just like, let me go. You don't have a stage, or let me just go up here.
Well,
like what?
They reached out.
How does that work?
They reached out.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we want to do something with Two Scoops. I got my own ice cream flavor.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. What's it called?
Special delivery.
Because I get it.
I call it special delivery. It's got Michigan potholes. It's like a chocolate.
Okay.
Cherry amaretto ice cream, graham crackers, a cherry on top, and some whipped cream.
Definitely a unique one, for sure.
Yeah, but I like the special delivery because that's,
it fits too
buzzing. It's marketable.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool, man. A lot of different shows, a lot of things coming up. I guess we've been rocking for like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. We'll get into the last few questions, and these are more life-related ones. Okay. I'm definitely interested to know your responses on these ones. The first one, if you could go back 10 years ago, give yourself any piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
That's a good question. 25. So
2015.
Yeah. Yep. So 25, I would have told myself, don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to be confident in yourself. Because I feel like I dealt with that a lot. It's like, I don't want to say I'm nice because I know I am.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't want nobody saying, who you think you is? Yeah. I had to learn to quit thinking about what other people thought about me. And once I kind of let that go, shit just got easier.
Yeah. It's more of a reflection on how they view themselves.
Rejection,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're ahead of the game, proven knowledge.
Yeah. We gotta make sure it's now.
Yeah, man. You gotta brand that now, man. You gotta copyright that.
I won't forget that one for sure. And if we flip that, then we say 10 years from now. Obviously, it's looking ahead is difficult sometimes, but 10 years from now, where do you think you want to be in music and in life in general?
10 years from now, I would like to be just more visible, more recognizable, more people knowing what I've already created. You know, I have a lot of music that people haven't heard yet on Spotify. Those albums, I feel like once the world gets a hold on me or listens to me, they'll love what they hear. You know, because I bring the original style of hip hop that is like damn near forgotten. But it's also me being me, you know?
See, the problem is people got to go to Bandcamp. That's where all the good stuff is.
Yeah, man, I found some good.
Yeah, they're messing around on Spotify and Apple Music. They're missing all the good stuff. There's so many producers I've been discovering recently. They don't put anything on streaming, and then I go to Bandcamp and they got 80 albums.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is where all the good stuff is.
That's how Trey Voorhees, he produced a couple songs on our album. All Bandcamp.
All the good stuff, man. Yeah. And before we get out of here, any final words of wisdom? You drop a lot all the time, so you know, let's see what you got today, I guess.
Today, you get out what you put in. That's what I tell my son. You know, you get out what you put in. You know, this content may be tiring, the podcast and shit can be tiring, but it feels good when people know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely feels good. I said it before, but like going out in places in public, you know, just kind of moving humbly. That's me. I move humble. I don't move around like I'm Jéan, you know, But it feels good. Like I delivered some mail to the YWCA, and a woman said, "We saw your documentary. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who she was. You know what I'm saying? So whoever's watching, keep watching the positive stuff. Keep watching what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring the hip hop. I'm trying to bring some culture here, man.
Yeah.
Best thing you can, because we need it.
For sure, man. Well, I gotta say, you're doing that through and through, man. And that's, like I said, that's what stood out to me, just about you as a person, what you're doing as a person, outside of just what you're doing, you know, as a creative. I think it says a lot about you and who you are. So I gotta say, you know, thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to come here. Shout out to Tim if Tim watches this.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me
Shout
come
out
here.
to the hub, man.
He doesn't know me, but he knows this guy. You know, thank you for allowing me to be here, because this is probably one of the coolest settings I've definitely done an interview in.
Shout out to Proven Knowledge, man. Keep doing your thing.